Identifying peer-reviewed scholarly articles and empirical primary sources. We will start off by defining a scholarly article. Scholarly articles are found in scholarly periodicals like these. They are called periodicals because they are published periodically, often only a few times a year. We also call these academic journals or scholarly journals. They are very different from non-scholarly periodicals, like these. These are all magazines. Another type of non-scholarly article is a newspaper. These articles are generally written by journalists for the general public. In contrast, articles in scholarly periodicals are written by experts for other experts in the field. There are two main types of scholarly articles in psychology. One is a review of current research in a particular area, and the other is an empirical research study, which is a description of an actual research study. It is written by the individuals who carried out the research, and so it is called a primary source. Let's take a look at what's so special about a scholarly article. One thing is that it is peer-reviewed. After researchers conduct a study, they write a paper that describes what they did and what they found. Then, they will submit their paper to a scholarly journal. The editor of the journal sends their paper to 2 to 3 experts in the field for review. The review process is blind, which means that the authors do not know who the reviewers are. Often, the reviewers do not know who wrote the paper either. This is to ensure that the review process is as impartial as possible. The reviewers can make one of 3 decisions about the paper. They can choose to accept it as it is, ask the authors to make revisions, or reject the paper. If authors are asked to revise their paper, they generally have to rewrite sections of it, rerun statistical analyses, or even collect more data in order to satisfy the concerns of the reviewers. Once they have made revisions, the authors send the paper back to the editor of the journal, who sends it again to the reviewers, who decide whether the authors address their concerns. If all goes well, the paper is accepted and published in the journal. The peer review process is important because it tells everybody that the article has reached an acceptable standard in the field. Research studies and peer-reviewed articles are recognized as being reliable, valid, and well-designed. Review articles are also peer-reviewed to ensure that they are accurate and up-to-date. Let's take a look at an empirical primary source article in a scholarly journal. You can see that it looks quite different from a magazine or a newspaper article, but all empirical scholarly articles follow a similar format. The first thing that we see at the top is the name of the journal. In this case, the name is the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Underneath that, we see the year of publication, 2018, the volume number, 115, the issue number, 2, and the page numbers, 338 to 361 for this particular article. Next, we see the article title. Underneath that, we see the names of the individuals who wrote the article and carried out the research. Then we see a brief summary of the article, which is called an abstract. Academic articles in psychology start with an introduction, which contains a background review of previous research and justification for the importance of the study. I've just scrolled ahead a few pages to the next section, the method. The method section allows you to know that this is an empirical article. This section describes who the participants are and how the authors conducted the research, almost like a recipe. After the methods section comes the results section. This section may be difficult for you to understand until you have taken some more advanced classes such as statistics and research methods. Remember, scholarly articles like these are written by experts for other experts, so they aren't particularly easy for undergraduate students to read. The next section is a discussion, which is a section that describes the interpretation of the results. Finally, there is a reference section, which provides all of the citations for any research that was mentioned throughout the article, usually in the introduction and discussion sections. So why should you use a scholarly article when a website or a magazine is easier to understand? The information in a scholarly article is up to date. It is written by experts who carried out the study, so it is detailed and accurate. The scholarly article is peer-reviewed, which means it is reliable. You will learn about how psychology research is conducted. And finally, it gets easier with practice.